Hello, beautiful yogis. I hope you're all well and having a lovely week. I just wanted to come on and do a short movement session for us today. I really missed having our yoga class this week. So I am just going to guide us through a very short practice just to give us a little bit of continuity during the week that we don't have any classes, and we'll be back again anyway on Monday. So I'm going to invite you to start off lying down on your mat. So take a few minutes to come to lying semi-supine or legs outstretched, whatever feels really good. And in that moment, as you begin to connect with the support of the floor beneath you, the mat beneath you, just beginning the process of letting go of your day, letting go of what's here that you do not need to bring in to your yoga space. So take a few nice releasing breaths. In through the nose, out through the mouth. And just allowing this to be a doorway to the self. And it's nice sometimes even to take your hands onto your body, just to begin to register and feel into the rhythm, the tone, the frequency that is you in this moment. Knowing that every moment is unique, so every moment that we meet in, can you bring a playfulness and a curiosity to just meeting yourself in this moment? Can it be simple? Can it be joyful? And in this meeting in, can you allow the inner space to begin to slow and settle? Connection to the breath, giving you a connection inwards. Beginning to let the mind clear from any busyness that you may have brought in. And as you bring your attention now down, just to really feel into this whole body in this moment. This body that we know is a vehicle for connection, a vehicle for transformation in every moment. So we're going to move, so just beginning to allow your arms to stretch overhead, reach into the space. If it's comfortable for your back, you could let your legs stretch out on the mat. Just reach your arms, your legs, maybe coming into the shape of an X. And then take a moment to reach your right arm and your right leg. And then let them soften a little and then reach the left arm and the left leg. And you could move the arms and legs out a little bit more, even more of an X. And just begin to go from one side. The right arm, right leg extends. And then the left arm, left leg extends. And just shift from side to side and see if you can even allow your hips to hike and your shoulders to move. So as the right arm, right leg extends, you might feel one side shift more. So when I reach my left arm, left leg, my hip on my left side slides down a little, and my hip slides up a little, and my hip slides down a little on the side I'm reaching, and the opposite side slides down, slides up. So whatever way you notice. And then you might notice the shoulders do something similar. So the girdle of the pelvis, the girdle of the shoulders coming online out. And then big X, stretch into every part of you, head, tail, arms, and then release the arms down. Just let the head roll a little side to side on the mat. Brilliant. Just ease me at any tension. Stand the feet on the mat, hug the knees in, and just rock a little bit from left to right. So beginning to feel the back of the body connecting to the mat, solidity of the spine at the center, ribs on the back. And then we're going to make 2 circles with the knees. So begin to circle out both knees, hand on each knee, and circle them out. And then going in the opposite direction. And the hips. When standing your right foot on the mat, we're going to extend the left leg up towards the sky. You could extend the right leg on the mat if that works, but if you do that and you feel there's lots going on, soften the knee or find a position that allows you just to feel into the spaciousness of the back of the thigh. And then circle out your foot. Brilliant. Going in one direction and the other. And then hug the knee to the chest. Breathing in, and as you breathe out, lift your head up in the direction of the knee. And then feeling the spine, upper spine release back down. We'll do that 3 times. Hug your tummy muscles in. And then extend all the way back. And then swap sides, so the left foot stands on the mat, the right leg extends up towards the ceiling or whatever is your opposite. Begin to extend the leg. Decide what's happening with the opposite leg. If it works to extend it out, if there's lots of effort or shaking, you can always bend the knee, so that gives you more agency over the leg that you're stretching, or that you're extending rather. Feel from the pelvis all the way down to the heel, and then circle out the foot in one direction and the other. Brilliant. Taking a few breaths here, keeping the shoulders nice and rooted on the mat, and then hug the knee to the chest. Breathing in, you're coming up on an exhale, and then you're easing back down on an inhale, really activating, excuse me, really feeling into the spine, the upper part of the spine, easing up and down about 3 times. And then we take it into happy baby, hug the knees in and then out towards the armpits, rock from side to side. Excellent. And then feet on the mat, going to roll over to one side, put your 2 hands into the floor and come up to sit. So take a moment just to sit. I'm sitting in an easy cross leg, but you might like to sit with the legs out straight, or you might sit on your heels. I'm just going to reach the arms up. Just imagine you're climbing a ladder just to reach up into the space above you. Brilliant. And then out in front, pulling a rope, reach. And start off keeping the spine kind of neutral, and then begin to turn more of a twist action. So rotating the trunk. Again, everything just feeling good for you. Each movement being determined by what your body is saying and responding. Brilliant. And then rest the hands. We're going to shove the shoulders up towards the ears. And squeeze tension and one last one. And we can bring that into a nice neck releasing movement. Excellent. Brilliant. We're going to come over onto hands and knees. Take your time, root your hands down and find that nice hands and knees position. And then take your cat pose. Tailbone lifts up, heart lifts, and then round into the spine. So just find that mobility in the spine, moving in a linear way up and down. Breathing in as the front body extends and opens, and then breathing out as the front body hugs in. And enjoy. So feeling, you can close your eyes, feel this luxuriating in the central axis of you, enjoying these movements. And you can feel the tailbone ripples through the lower back, middle back, upper back into the neck. And then the tailbone hugs under that action. Ripples through the lower back, middle back, upper back into the neck and head. So just go on a journey of feeling into the spine. This helps to ground us and center us. And also make us feel a little less stuck, a little more mobile. And then you can begin to swish the hips, circle out the hips, circle out the shoulders, begin to move more actively, less linear. Swish the neck and the head, get everything what feels good for you. Wag your tail, move side to side, and then walk the knees back, so back towards the heels. Extend the arms long, and then we're going to come into a downward dog. So hips come high, bend the knees, and just walk your dog. 1, 2. Really root down through the hands. The hands are key here. Extend through the backs of the heels. Slow down. Enjoy downward dog. Enjoy extending, making space in the body. Enjoy feeling the stability through the hands and the feet, and then maybe extending back into both legs. And then from here, slide the feet back a little, extend forward into what we call plank pose, and then drop the knees to the mat. We're going to let the tummy rest, bend your elbows close to your body, come down all the way down. And then from here, we're going to come up into cobra. Let the shoulders release back, hands are quite close to the body, and then lower all the way down. We'll come up into cobra on an inhale. Check the hands are quite close. You can take them wider if you need. So more about the elbows not sticking out, but the elbows and the wrists are in line. Coming up on an inhale. And again, if you find with your lower back, don't come so high, keep your belly on the floor if that's better for your body. So find what version of cobra feels good for you. Nice few breaths here, and then ease down. And let's do 2 more of these. Time with your breath, sensing where the hands need to be, sensing where the belly needs to be. If you're feeling constriction or hardness anywhere, that means you need to slow it down, soften, and then maybe looking side to side. But again, it's nicer to do that with the belly towards the mat. If it feels too much. Come back to center, sit back towards your heels, extend all the way back into hare pose, and then come up to high kneeling. Shake off the hands, circle out the wrists, extend the arms up overhead, reach one side and then the other, and then we'll take it into a crescent lunge. So hinge forward, hinge, brilliant, glide down and up, shift the weight forward. I'm just looking towards the camera, but you can stay, put your attention straight ahead. Brilliant. So just be mindful that the knee doesn't overshoot the ankle. Hinging that hip flexor, and then swap sides, hinging forward and back. Just to get that mobility through the hips, but also shift the weight forward and back. Brilliant. I'm going to do the first side again, bring that into a crescent lunge, step through. Take the hands to the mat now and shift forward and back, different position, and feel it more in the hips. And then root down when you feel the weight at the back and the weight at the front, feeling both front and back engage. Not so much tightly, but just supporting you. Then you can begin to come up into a crescent lunge. And maybe arching the back a little, or hug the tummy muscles in if that feels better for your back. So we don't want to just mindlessly open. We have some connection to front and back. And then reach forward with the arms, reach, extend along. Let your left hand come to the mat. So my right foot is forward, my left hand's going to come to the mat. I'm going to take that into a little twist to the right. The arm is going to come up. Just taking a nice few breaths there. So just enjoying the different orientation of the spine. Sweep back, extend that leg back, come into a downward dog, just walk it out. Bring it from plank, downward dog to plank. Check you're nice and long in your body. Knees to the chest, down, or knees to the mat, down to cobra. Come all the way up into a little sequence vinyasa, and then back into downward dog. Knees to the mat. This time you're stepping through with the left foot. Shift your weight forward and back. Hands on the mat this time. And then root down so you can rise up. So into the crescent lunge. We're feeling the support of front and back. Reaching up. Stay center if that feels more connected to your body. Do bring a connection to the front body, or reaching into a little back bend if that works. But for a lot of us that feels too open for the low back and the belly. So Find the version. Then we're going to reach forward. Right hand to the mat, left hand to the back hip. And then from that neutral spine, open it up to the left, looking up towards the ceiling or the floor, whatever works better for you. And from this hand on the mat, we're rooting that down so that I can rotate and then begin to open up. Okay, so it's opening up and coming back. Taking back into downward dog, lovely. In downward dog, lift one leg up. Take a few breaths here, swap sides. And come back to center, come into hare pose. Stand back, extend the arms. And come all the way back. I'm just going to circle out the shoulders. Come to high kneel, I'm going to sweep the arms back. Interlink the fingers and just extend the arms long. Again, without forcing, it doesn't need to be jerky or hard. Just beginning to open up the back or the front body. Bringing the arms back. Everything we do is here, so we're just opening up that possibility. And release, shake out the arms. Okay, fantastic. Just bring my mat more into the center. And from here, we're going to take a little pigeon pose. So come to the back of the mat. I'm going to show you first. You can just watch. I'm going to go to downward dog. And from downward dog, we're going to hinge forward. So like we did earlier, but this time we're going to lift the right knee and then we're going to scoot the knee forward and put it onto the mat. So if you have a knee thing going on, we're not going to come down this way. You can come from hands and knees and glide. But if it's okay for you to go from downward dog to scoot. Now my right knee is coming to the outside edge nearly of the mat, near my right hand. And then the position my knee is going to be more in this direction. I'll show you from this side. So my right knee comes forward. The heel of the hand and the knee are quite close to each other. I'll lift this hand so you can see. And then my back leg glides back. Just notice if the hip is extending in or out. Seeing if you can be on the front of that knee. And then you can take a choice of extending the toes back or tucking them under, whatever feels more supported for you. And then use your hands either side to lift up. And then we're going to extend long through the spine. Take your forearms to the mat. You might like to use a pillow or a bolster under your head. And extend here. So this is pigeon pose. Take a few breaths. Enjoy your breaths here. You mightn't like to use support at all. You could just take your head to the mat. You might like to use the cushions for your hands if you need to. So as you know, everything's about support. Walk the hands back. Come back up to pigeon. Now an option here, you could bend your back knee. Really feel like you're on the upper part of the knee, top of the knee. Bend your leg up and then take it into a twist. So it's my right hand on my left leg and then open to a twist. If that doesn't feel comfortable, you could just bend the knee and leave it there. You don't need to bind, or you could use a belt. So similar to my twist we did in the lunge, now I'm looking over my right shoulder. My spine's in a nice rotation to my hips, and then come back to center and slide the knees back to be in hands and knees. Come back to downward dog. And in downward dog, I'm just going to circle out my right hip, and then I'm going to take my pigeon pose to the left. So I'm gliding my left knee forward, coming down. Again, you might come from hands and knees, just being really, really careful with knees always. Sliding the right leg back on the top of the foot. Again, my foot tends to hinge. My heel extends out. So I need to just be mindful to engage that leg in a, just not in a hugely effortless way, effortful way, but a little bit awake. And coming from that upward pigeon, begin to extend the spine long. So I'm long in my hands, reaching out, maybe coming to the support, or my head might be coming to the mat. Find a few breaths. And if there feels like an imbalance between the arms and the shoulders, really find props that support you. You might be on your forearms, whatever version works. And just letting go of tension in the hips here. Once few breaths, and then walk the hands back. Bend the opposite knee, bend the knee. You may be reaching back and then looking over that shoulder. Some twisting to the left now. If that feels awful for your quad, bend your foot there. Don't do it. And coming back to centre, hands and knees. Creeping back to downward dog, brilliant. Walk it out in the dog. Walk it out, brilliant. And then you can circle it out, that knee. And then we're going to come back. Care pose all the way back. And all the way back up. Circle out the shoulders. And just sit for a moment. I'm sitting back on my heels, but if that's not comfortable, you can just find a different position. Extend the arms wide. Breathe in, palms up, look towards the ceiling. And then come back to centre. Palms down, look down. Neutral, open up. Neutral, come back. And then give yourself a big hug. Wrap the arms around the front of the body. Breathing in, open up, expand, and then opposite side. And release. So we'll just take the hands onto the shoulders, ease it out there. Both directions. And then we're just going to wind it down. So come to lying on your mat. We're going to do a little bit of bridge pose, a little bit of arch and flatten. So find, you could let the legs extend out just to begin with, just to melt back down into the support. Regain connection to your breath, stand the feet on the mat. And just take a few arch and flattens where your tailbone presses in as you breathe in, and then hug as you breathe out, the low back lengthens. So arching, the tailbone presses in, the low back arches. Yeah, I'm putting my hand in here, I could arch, and then as I come back, the low back lengthens. So just allowing that arch and flatten to ripple up through the whole of the spine, into the head and the neck. So as you arch, you might notice the chin comes towards the chest. And as you flatten, you might notice it comes back up to face towards the ceiling. So arch and flatten now, movement that moves from your feet. Lightly press through the feet as you flatten. The feet, the knees, the hips, the pelvis, the spine, the neck, the head, the whole body. Realigning, recalibrating here. And then the next time you take arch and flatten, you might need to move the position of your feet. We're going to take that into a moving bridge, slide all the way away from the mat with the spine, starting at your tailbone, moving as high up as feels comfortable, and then ease all the way back down. Again, arch, through flatten, peeling up, pause, and then easing back down. Wonderful. And just do a few of these. Allow this to be a real undoing, a real release of any tension on the spine, from the backs of the shoulders through to the middle, the upper, middle and lower back. 3 or 4, and we hug the knees in, just circle them out again. Double circles. And then take any little movement you fancy just to ease it out. Excellent. And then our happy baby one more time. Easing it out, you could begin to reach one leg long and then the other one to get more swing between left and right side, a little bit more traction there. And then hug it all in. Bring the head towards the knees. Hug everything in. And then release, extend, long, and just notice how you feel after a really short practice. Bring the arms back alongside the body. We'll just take a mini shavasana for a few minutes here. Just letting the whole body melt into the support of the floor. Need to make any little adjustments to come back to homeostasis or easeful rest. Well done. I'm here enjoying a beautiful sunset. The sun is shining on my gone. Brilliant. Well done. I'm just taking a few minutes here to really allow this shift in your energy, this up level in your energy, this recalibration, this raising your vibration to really expand out through every part of you, every cell in the body. And maybe have permission to stay, permission from yourself to stay for a little bit longer. Feel free to do that. Maybe take this opportunity for some rest, maybe a little nap. Nothing like the gift of a nap. And if you're coming back in my time, I invite you just to stay here for another little moment. I'm just going to chant Om 3 times. If you want to come and sit for Om, you can. If you prefer to lie for it, you can. And breathe deeply in and out once without doing Om. And full breath in. Allowing that vibration of Om when you've joined in, and you may like to do it yourself now. Allowing the vibration of the Om to really seal your practice, seal this time that we've spent together. I'm going to close our practice. Bring my hands together at my heart. If you want to join me, if you're lying, just stay there. That's perfect. I bow to you in gratitude for our connection, in gratitude for you joining me here today. It's been beautiful. And I can't wait to get back in real time with you next week. You beautiful yogis, you just fill me up so much. I've missed you this week. So thank you so much for being here and joining me. Om Shanti Peace. Have a beautiful rest of the week. Lots of love. Bye.